So Jason joins, Zach joins. We see that we're getting better. Then came what I feel was the biggest moment in the EWA, which was the pep rally.
Pep rally match was one of my favorite experiences of high school.
Welcome to EWA Friday Frenzy. The following match is scheduled for one fall.
The way it kind of worked out was Miss Hood was running all the pep rallies at the time. For some reason, she would always kind of come to me and ask, if I had any ideas for the pep rally. I'd said something to her about us wrestling before, because they'd had wrestling at pep rallies before, but what we were going to do was way better.
The whole pep rally thing was well put together. Of course, y'all hadn't planned it pretty well because it was in front of the school, and I can't believe, number one, that they let you do that nowadays. You never get away with doing that. I don't know how you got away with doing it then. I don't know if y'all just didn't tell them what you're going to do or what.
The night before the football pep rally, we delivered all our smelly mattresses to Warren Central High School.
It was the first time we were going to be able to bring the EWA in front of a lot of people at one time.
All day, that's all I could think about. We wrestled in the backyard enough to where we knew how to wrestle. Now we were actually going to wrestle in front of people.
The first match that I saw in the EWA was at the pep rally at Warren Central, and I really liked watching it. It was fun because one of my football coaches was actually involved in it.
One of the reasons we did get to be in this is because everyone loved Coach Baker, and he helped out.
Nick and Baker, well, Nick was a popular kid in school, pretty popular kid. Coach Baker was probably one of the most liked teachers. So right there you had a recipe for greatness.
Alright, let me tell everybody something about this wrestling. It's called the EWA, Extreme Wrestling Alliance. Somebody got on the internet site, which is called www.ewa11.com. Started talking trash about X-Lax. Well, I challenge you to come out here today and fight me like a man and quit talking trash to my face. So let's see you out here right now.
Well, out comes the mouth of the gym, Lex Lindsay.
The whole gymnasium was just on fire for that match. Everyone was so into it, and a lot of it was because you had Coach Baker, who every student in the school loved.
Baker comes out and is just freaking huge. He's a giant compared to Nick.
He goes to showboat to the sophomores, and Nick comes over and just whacks him.
The cane broke and cut Baker's face after it broke.
Went over to Baker and making sure he was alright, just pretending to make sure he was alright. And his face was bleeding. I jumped in the ring and told Nick, I was like, dude, you cut Baker, he's pissed.
Cut his face, and it was hilarious. He come after me, I thought he was really gonna kick my ass.
Hey, don't even get like the whole ring. Look at that, that's alright.
Baker was more of a celebrity at school, so everybody was really excited about that one. It didn't turn out so well. I thought I should have been wrestling instead of him. I was there for the founding of the EWA, and I wasn't even participating in that at the pep rally. I was a little hurt by that.
I don't think Baker should have ever been brought into it. Leave the EWA to us, man. Don't steal our thunder.
But the reception was great. Nick got a good pop. Baker got a huge pop. He was a popular teacher. And the football team was pumped up because Coach Baker was wrestling.
That match was a fun match to watch. Lex Lindsay was the best part of that match.
Lex Lindsay, he added a lot to that match.
wanted Nick to win, but Baker wouldn't do the job. Baker wouldn't lose.
Well, one thing that always angered me is that Coach Baker refused to get pinned and lose because Nick should have won that with that move. That should have been the finisher. It should have been done. But Coach Baker was a big sissy.
He was pissed, so I was like, you know, if he wants to really win, you know, I'm not gonna stop him.
That moonsault, Nick had never done one properly. That moonsault was perfect.
Well, that should have been the finisher, and that would have been the greatest wrestling match of all time, in my opinion. Because it's the biggest audience they ever had.
Nick's moonsault, supposedly, is why we were never going to be doing that again. Because Mr. Dye apparently freaked. That's what I heard anyway.
They hit everybody in school with some damn fine wrestling.
That match was great. You know, Nick and Baker put on a good match. It's probably Nick's best match. That's probably the only regret I had. It would have been cool to have the little guy beat the big guy.
It was cool. I mean, it didn't really matter though. It was fun no matter what. The crowd was there and we got more into it, I think, a little bit. Everybody was having more fun with it.
I went to a pep rally one day and here was these people wrestling, people who I knew. And I was like, this is great.
I just remember that it was just, to use the Rock's term, it was electrifying being there in the audience. Because, I mean, that was a big deal. I mean, little backyard wrestling thing, wrestling officially in a school with an audience.
The Nick and Baker match at the pep rally, I remember it was just one of those adrenaline-based matches. Well, both of the matches at the pep rally just had a lot of adrenaline in it because we were wrestling in front of over 1,000 people.
Match is also scheduled for a one fall and for the EWA heavyweight title.
It's the main event time. Ryan had just gotten his cast off.
My wrist was still so sore, and I just kept that. I remember all day thinking, I was like, man, I hope I don't break my wrist again in this match.
I just remember hearing Pee Wee get on the microphone and just being like, oh God, now we've got to do it.
Same thing there, man. You have a recipe for greatness. You got Josh Davis, you got Ryan Cummings, and you had shit that nobody had ever seen before in that school. They weren't ready for it. It's still talked about in those halls to this day. It is. I've been there recently.
First coming to the ring, a challenger at a weight of 165 pounds, the elite, Ryan Cummings.
He just walks out and just the people know that he's the bad guy somehow.
I get on the mic and, you know, start cutting a promo and tell the whole crowd that, you know, that they're nothing.
I got a little something to say about the king of hardcore, Josh Davis. That little punk, just like every single one of you in this building, are nothing. You're all nothing. You, right there, you are nothing.
Well, I remember just pointing in a random direction and, you know, saying, you, right there, you are nothing.
Fuck you, motherfucker!
Hell no, motherfucker. I know you ain't talking to me. You know,
People were riled up.
Bring on the punk.
And his opponent, at a weight of 100.
As the good guy in the situation, you gotta go slap hands, so I'm very glad that I went and slapped hands with people.
the as the greatest match in the history of the EWA, no doubt about it.
Fling him into the ropes and you just hear, kill him! Hearing that just made me go, okay, all bets are off. And we were so stiff with one another that match.
They were stiff as hell. And of course, I mean, if you're really doing something, you're not trying to fake do it and make it look like it. If you're really doing it, that's always going to look better.
It was a great show. I mean, you guys certainly turned it up, but you know, from the parent standpoint, it's like, man, somebody's going to get hurt. You know, that's the thing.
Having everybody there watching and just everything that went on, I guess the adrenaline was going. No one held back.
The crowd loved it. The crowd was into it so much.
As far as the crowd, I mean, you had the Morris in the palm of your hand. You know, I mean, they were eating it up.
That whole day was fucking great. I mean, because everybody loved it. I mean, and the people that said they didn't like it, that was just because they were pissed because they didn't get to do it.
The crowd knew, like, you know, something was happening. And damn it, something was. We tore that place down, god damn it.
I was there, and I saw it, and I was like, this is awesome. Here's a group of people who are doing what they want, and they're doing something creative, and they have something to show for it.
I took a couple bumps myself in that one.
My most memorable moment from the match is probably when I powerbombed Pee Wee.
Ryan destroying me with the power bomb.
Poor Pee Wee. Probably the best powerbomb I ever pulled off by a lot. And I was mad because he held on to my legs, so I gave him a little bit extra. I even jumped and powerbombed him and just trying to drive him through the basketball court. So
I was like, I think he just fucking killed him or something like that. I mean, it was scary.
The row of teachers in the background, like they explode.
I think the thing that caught my eye as much as anything was Coach Riley in the background. You know, here's one of his starters on the basketball team that's out here going to break his neck.
Who in their right mind would let these kids beat the shit out of each other, sanctioned and during school hours? We ended it with the bad guy winning, which I felt was appropriate. You know, bust these kids' dreams, you know. I mean, good guys don't always win, folks.
I walk back into the ring, right back out of the ring to step over the other ropes, and my foot gets hung. Everyone loved that.
And then he acts like he doesn't care, but he is embarrassed. I guarantee it.
Everyone just laughed. I mean, the laughter from the crowd was loud, and then, you know, you got Ross and Padge, you know, getting a big kick out of that behind the camera laughing.
But fuck, like I said, people have never seen nothing like that before live. We fucked their worlds up. We nailed it. It was great.
The Elite Ryan Cummings versus King of Hardcore Josh Davis at the pep rally was the greatest match of all time.
I just remember it as being the best pep rally we ever had.
It was a good experience. It was a good, like you said, launching point for the EWA. Got us out in the open and made people realize what we do is magic.
Fuck yeah!